Hey everybody, Corey here with the Art Archaeologist channel, and today I'm wanting to show you these scrapbook bookmarks for junk journals and just to use for your reading too. So I just put all these together and wanted to lay them out so that you could see them, and they've got the really pretty sari silk tassels on them, and I'll just briefly show these and then show you how I do them. So I've really gotten into this little like stamp postcard kind of, let me zoom out a little. Okay, I've really gotten into doing this little postcard thing on here, like making it look like there's a little stamp on there. So I'll show you how I do that. And then I'll also let you know what papers I'm using. This is really beautiful little fairies on this paper. We've got some butterflies and birds. So fun. I love these. They're fun. They're fun to make and they're really fun to use. Now you can sew these. A lot of them I lightly glued in the middle so that I could sew the edges. And I may sew the edges on these, but I really like how they are. This one I did sew, and I didn't complete it at the top, and I'm not really happy about that, but I got kind of wonky here with the sewing I did. It's not very straight, which I actually like that, so I'm happy with that. Gives it that real handmade, homemade feel. This one, I just love this little strip of paper. And I get these paper packs at Hobby Lobby. I love these little eggs. This is Tim Holtz paper, so I've got two Prima paper packs that I used on these. And then I used some of my Tim Holtz scraps. And I'm not sure the name. It's a very botanical paper pack of Tim Holtz, and I'm just not sure the name of it. That's all Tim Holtz. This one had a lot of really beautiful markings from the coffee staining. Yes, I coffee stained all these bookmarks, and I didn't want to cover up all the pretty little markings that the coffee left on this, so I went ahead and did a little bit smaller scrapbooking. Now I know I have those bookmarks here somewhere. Here they are. Okay, you can get these at Hobby Lobby too, and they're by the Paper Studio, and I think you can get white and cream and maybe black, but don't quote me on that. And it's $2.99 for a pack of 50, and they're 2 by 6 inches. But I always wait for the Paper Studio stuff to go on sale, and so you can get this for half off here. Okay, and then we're going to do these two bookmarks today. Here's the paper packs I used. This is Jody Lee Designs, and it's by Prima. It's the Nature Garden collection. And I love this paper. I'm actually out of a bunch of it, but you can get fairies. Here, let me zoom in for a sec. You get these beautiful little fairy girls in here, and this beautiful just design paper that's really good for backgrounds on your bookmarks, and some ledger. You just get some really gorgeous stuff in here. So that's that paper pack. Now this one is Epiphany by Prima, and I'm equally excited about this. Now, Hobby Lobby, there's a trick to them. Sometimes they'll have all the Paper Studio paper packs on sale. Well, this is Prima, so this is not on sale. But if you wait until they say all paper packs on sale, then you can get these half off. And this is $6. These are not cheap. They're both $6 full price. And I just refuse to pay full price if I can avoid it. So I wait for the paper packs to go on sale, and then I rush down there and I get the Primas. And I haven't seen graphic 45s there. I wish they carried graphic 45. But this paper is just beautiful. Here's some black and whites with little bird cages and clocks. Just show you a few of these. And this beautiful little light fixtures and the butterflies with a little bit of script. And there are a lot of keys in this paper pack. Little keys in the designs. And I just really love the colors. And this pack is so depleted because I've used most of it, but I'll cut this out and just use that bird cage, you know. Hoping we don't have a doggy play fest while I'm filming. We usually do though. And then really pretty borders, but then there's papers that have stuff all the way through it. So there's a lot of good stuff in here, and I just can't show you the whole thing because I've really used most of it. But I want to show you how to make these bookmarks. So I got the paper ready for these. And again, in my other videos, I love the Yoo-Hoo glue sticks that Robin McClendon told everybody about from her channel. They work really well. This is archival glue, so it won't mess up your paper over time. It won't yellow it or anything, which is important to me. Now these are, this started out as the white bookmark, and now it's, of course, coffee stained and ironed. And then I inked all the edges of this side. And I left this side to show you real quick, and I'm just using Ranger Tim Holtz Vintage Photo. It's my fave. I have a lot of colors, but I really like this one, and I like black soot too, but black soot can be a little much for if you want aged ephemera looking stuff. So then I just ink the edges, and if you want your edges really dark, just pick up your whatever you're edging and really hit it with your tool, okay? And then these papers, sometimes I want to make the paper as dark as possible, and I cut these with these decorative scissors. You can pick these up anywhere. This is the pattern on these. And sometimes I like to totally darken it out, but since this is pretty dark, I want to keep the light of this. I just want to ink the edge. And then I want to keep the light in this because when the center of your art is light, when the interior of your art is light, it draws the eye in, which is my goal. I want to keep people engaged and enjoying this bookmark. So all I'm doing is just really darkening that edge to define it away from what's underneath it, instead of laying it down and doing it like I did the bookmark. That's the other way I do it. But this, I do a lot of this. And I'm reaching for my ink pad way too much. There's plenty on here. So see, that gives it a really gorgeous, dark, defined edge and keeps the light in the middle. And then I cut out this little postcard. There's this page. Now see how I did that where I got that straight line right there? I'm just going to come in and kind of blur it out. I don't want a straight line, so it'll just be a little bit more aged. Sometimes that happens. Okay, I want to keep the light on all of these. I really want the center image to pop. I got this beautiful little fairy girl, and the fairies are in this pack, the Nature Garden Collection by Prima. Okay, and you get a few different fairy images, not too many, just a few, but it is the most gorgeous. I need to make sure I stay in frame. I kind of want you zoomed in so you can see what I'm doing. Same thing, want to keep the focus on the pretty little girl's face here. So just hitting those edges. So now that I have all those inked, and I like to just design one side at a time, And if you watched my autumn leaf bookmark tutorial, I do the same thing with this that I do with that. I don't give myself a bunch of time to think because I will sit here, I'll take forever to do one bookmark. So I'm really gotten good at training myself to just pick a paper and pick another one and put it on and make sure that the color is not terrible or like it's really clashing or something, and then slap it on there and get it done. I really love this line, so I want that to show. So, you know, little things like that I'll quickly decide. So you do your bottom layer first. I've got this little piece of poster board. This side's for inking, this side's for gluing. If you want to sew, I'm not going to show any sewing today, but if you want to sew this, just go down the middle and try to stay away from your edges if you're going to sew this whole piece. Otherwise, just go ahead and hit it really well. I think I'm just going to hit it for the sake of the video. I don't think I'd have any trouble sewing through this. So, and you'll just have to experiment. Now I realize I'm totally covering the hole up there, and I'm okay with that because I can repunch it. Okay, so I've got that. There's my base. And then I want this pretty little fairy girl down at the bottom. And guess what? I'm going to lose that line because I should have off-centered this to keep this line, but I'll have it up here. So I'm going to off-center this, and then you get to make a decision with your cutting if you want it to line up or not, and I do want it to line up on this one. So I'm going to hit this all the way. And same with the other bookmarks. This, you get into a rhythm and you can get going really quick and get a lot of these done in a hurry. So I'm lining up my cuts on this side, and it gives it this nice little framed area right there. Okay, and then she's in. I got my handy dandy little fondant spreader. I talked about this in my autumn leaf tutorial. I got 2 of these in the Hobby Lobby baking section. They're fondant spreaders, and they've got a beveled edge and a sharp edge, and then a shorter. This one's really flat though, and this one's sharper. But I love it because this side is beveled, so you can protect your paper and really get it down at the same time. So I love that thing. And then I want this really cute little postcard piece, if I can get it, up here. But now I don't want a hole through my butterfly, so I have to make sure that I don't put it too high up here or I'll lose my butterfly. And things always look better off center. So I'll slap some glue on this little one. But I want it definitely inside the edge enough because I really don't want it to catch. So, and I don't like how that looks, so I'm just going to push it over, and it's going to be a little bit more centered, which is, oh well, it happens. This one's off center, so it makes it look nice. So then that's complete. This side is complete, unless you want to do some sewing. We're going to flip it over, and then I've got these. So I have these. You can get these scissors just about anywhere, and they are great, but they are not perfect. In my bookmark, the autumn bookmark video I did, I used this clear contact paper to seal my leaves on the bookmark. These do not cut through that contact paper very well. I've had a lot of problems trying to get a really fun decorative edge on my bookmarks using that contact paper, but they're perfect for straight up paper. So I've got this little Tim Holtz image, and I've already done these 2 sides. Now let's have a little fun. I've got this other pair out, so I'll have 2 sides, and then you just want to line it up, of course, so that it comes out straight somewhat. Okay, so now I've got a little jagged edge on this side, and it just adds interest. And then this one, I don't want too busy going on here. So this, and I don't like the straight edges unless I'm going to bump it up. Then I'm okay with it, but I'm really looking to frame my paper. Oh, I'm just so hooked on YouTube. I have been for a couple years. And I just love all the crafters on here. I'm really so happy. I found Nick the Booksmith, Robin McClendon, gosh darn it. Oh, there's so many. I can't think of the names. Cat Hand, Wendy's Journal Adventure, and Wendy uses a lot of stuff from, oh, I can't think of it. Anyway, there's so many wonderful people on here. And it's really important to me when I get an idea to give credit. So, you know, I will definitely be doing that as I go. Mrs. Cog taught me the best way to coffee stain, and I do it her way. So she's got a great tutorial. Her channel is Mrs. Cog, and I love her too. So look at how pretty that looks. That just completely pops that edge, so that it defines it and separates it from the background. Now this piece, I'm gonna totally hit it. I want to darken the whole thing and make it look like a really old little piece of paper. Kind of tone down some of that blue and pink a little bit. But now, okay, so I've aged this, but the edges are not dark. So I'm going to come in again and I'm going to do my edges because I like them to be dark. I just like how it separates it from whatever else you've got going on. These are my little collage tricks I like to use, and I'm sure there's probably plenty of people using them. Sometimes I'm a late bloomer, but that's okay. All right, so now I've got this, and got my Yoo-hoo glue. I love this glue. I don't have anything against Elmer's or anything. I just haven't tried. I've tried the really cheap ones and they just don't hold up over time. And it's really important to me that stuff holds up over time. So I just stick with Yoo-hoo. And Elmer's is probably fine too. I see Cat Hand using Elmer's all the time. And when I see somebody like her using something, I tend to trust the product more, you know. So I'm just going to hit that with my little fondant spreader. I love this so much. This is like, it's such a treat to use. I just love to craft. I love to do all these things because I just really enjoy using all the different things. So now I kind of have a dilemma because I want this off center. I want some of that showing. So you know what I'm going to do? I don't know that I necessarily like the different. So I'm gonna change it. I'm just gonna come in and I'm gonna whack it with this pair of scissors. Now you may not like some of these edges you get here. See how they're really poking out, but I don't mind. I don't let myself worry about stuff like that. But now that I've done those, I do have to come in and re-ink those two sides real quick. I've said in some previous videos, I have a background in faux finishing. I used to do people's homes and do really elaborate things to their walls, and I love it because I've adapted a lot of my skills from that to this, to my smaller art now, and I'm a little older now, and my shoulders and my neck will absolutely not allow me to do big jobs anymore. I could do a little job here and there, but I just don't want to. It's painful. So I really love to, you know, those skills are so transferable. Oh, I got a big chunk of glue. I'm going to put it back on there so I can use it later. Okay, so now I've got this small enough that I can take it over a little bit. Since I've got this whole stamp showing, I'm going to block out some of this one. Just because just for the sake of having things off center. Okay, now I have this little stamp I left out, and it's just not going to look good on here because I've already got those 2 stamp marks, and I've got this postcard, and okay, so it's not going to get used. So okay, that one's done, and then all I got to do is just take my crocodile, and since this side is still showing, I'll go ahead and I hope when I watch this to edit it that I'm in frame. I get excited and forget about things like that. Okay, so now I've got that, and I'm going to go ahead and do an eyelet here. So there's some pretty golds down in here. I'm going to use a bright gold on this one just to kind of carry it all the way up on this side. This crocodile is great. See, I talked in the other video about how I had the old-fashioned. You take this and you put your eyelet in, and then you take this little thing and you put it on top of the eyelet, you whack it with a hammer. It's old school, and I don't want to do that anymore. I like to use this instead. So then I just line up my little thing and give it a good squeeze. Done and done. So now you've got this beautiful little bookmark that you can add some stitching to, or you can just leave it. And we'll do the sari silk at the end. I tore a bunch of paper on this one. I talked earlier in the other video about how I really love to have torn edges everywhere. And so I tore all the edges on this one, and I left this one to show you this really cool tool. This is another wonderful thing that Robin McClendon turned me on to. This is a jagged-edged ruler, and you get a big tear side and a small tear side. And it's by Westcott, and it's called Deckled Edge. So I got this on eBay for like, I don't know, 12 bucks or something. And there's a trick to using this. So I've got all 3 done. I just saved one to show you. First of all, you want to try to get it as straight as you can. And then the trick I found is this thumb is very important. You want to keep holding this ruler down because I've had paper come up from under this thing. If you try to hold it back here and tear it, sometimes it can work, but my table is bowed. And it creates big problems when I'm doing this. So if I just keep my thumb in front of the tear, works beautifully. See, there's that bow. It's swimming around under there. And now here's kind of fun. Then you get to see how straight your tear was. I pulled this piece of paper out before and had it be all wonky and messed up. So, but this tool is, I use this all the time. I adore it. Now, okay, I already inked this before, but now I've got all these torn edges, which I like that. I like that look. I like how it's inked and then it's really light. But this side I kind of want to clean up and make dark. So what I'm going to do is take my little ink and I'm just going to hit the top edge of this side. See how the top is, I tore the top crooked. I don't care. I like it. It's okay with me. If I used to have to be really precise and with a lot of the stuff I did in people's homes. And it's very stressful to have to be really precise. So I am incredibly grateful to have an art that I can get up every day and do art that if it gets messed up, it adds to the charm of the art. So I'm very attracted to that. So now this piece of paper I just tore by hand, and there's a way to do it. Let's say if I don't want the torn edge to show, I need to go down and away from the art. But let's say I want it to show. Then you would go up and that torn edge is going to show. So you just have to figure out whether or not you want it to look like this or like this. And you always have a choice, and it all totally depends on how you tear it. I love a real raw, torn look too. So I will always use my ruler because you can't get that real organic, you know, I mean, it looks a little bit more uniform. So I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but this side has the torn and this side doesn't. And another thing, you know, you're using your thumb, so you can get this repetition of divots because you're using your nails. So that's something to keep in mind. And I always want the top to pop. So I'm going to gently, without bending it, hopefully, just darken this piece a little bit. I have so many happy accidents in doing artwork where I don't have to have perfect. And it's so much more interesting and beautiful when you're done, I think. Torn paper is, to me, I guess I'm just really super easily amused. Because I'm like, ooh, I could tear it this way, and I could tear it that way, and I could use this ruler. I get really excited about stuff like that. Same thing with this one. Look at that edge just pop. I love that so much. I am easily amused. What can I say? As a kid, all I ever wanted to do was some kind of artwork, and one of the things I love the most about doing this kind of thing is that it's incredible therapy. You know, if I have something going on in my life that's really difficult, or I'm struggling with even the littlest bit of sadness or whatever, this kind of artwork just gives me somewhere to put myself into and then have results, have something to share and look at and enjoy afterwards, and it's incredible therapy for me. So I don't know why I wanted to say that today, but I did. It's a lot less expensive than a talk doctor too, and you get something to show for it. So, you know, I shouldn't say it's less expensive. I am an art supply hoarder. I used to really suffer from it has to be perfect, and I would get paralyzed over that. And there is nothing better in my life than being freed up from creative paralysis, you know, for lack of a better way to put it. And I won't ever go back to doing perfectionistic artwork. I just won't. I won't do it. A lot of times I will keep, like, if I'm out somewhere having coffee or whatever and doing this, I'll take a little baggie of paper clips. Right now I have my little thing. And I will just ink up a bunch of paper. And if I don't have my glue and I'm just inking, a baggie of paper clips is really invaluable, because then you can paper clip all the scraps to the bookmark or whatever you're working on. You can just paper clip both sides. I want this on this side, this on that side. And then when you get home to the rest of your supplies, you can go ahead and everything's done and inked up and ready to go for you. So I don't like to sit anywhere doing nothing ever. I can't handle it. I think I'm just way too ADD for that. I'm going to do a pretty copper on that one because it's got all these dark torn edges, and I think the copper will enhance that. I talked about my Sari Silk. That's S-A-R-I. So of course these uniform bookmarks, when you start tearing at them, you're going to get a smaller bookmark. So if you want it to be the same size as this bookmark, just use cardstock and then you don't lose your size. I get mine on eBay. And I've been playing with this aqua today and my reddish copper. And then I have this gorgeous pile of ice blue and dark purple. Oh, I adore this stuff so much. It is so, I love sari silk. And it's a hot mess, and so am I, so it's perfect for me. I'm going to go ahead, I have these cut, and I have this little aqua one cut, but I wanted to show you something real quick. This is a good piece. You'll notice as you get through a row of this, and I hope I said I buy this on eBay, that you'll find that they're sewn together in spots, so you can't do this little tear trick I'm going to do always. But as long as there's not that in there, cut this off. And then this piece of silk, all these sari silk sheds relentlessly, which I like because I like the rough rawness of it. But you can get all the loose ones off. Here's a really wide piece, and these wide pieces of fabric, of course, you're going to have a heck of a time getting them through your eyelet, right? I don't ever want to iron this because I don't want to lose all the delicious little creases and stuff in it. But I'm going to take this, I can get 3 tassels out of that width. So I'm just going to go snip, snap. And this stuff just tears beautifully. And then of course you got to go in and clean it up because it frays. But your sari silk for this project will last you forever. You buy this thing right here, and I think I paid like $4 for this. And I got it from the States. I'm in Colorado, and I got it in the United States, so I got it really fast, and it was free shipping. But this thing will last you forever. Here's what I'm talking about. See, they sew these scraps together. So if you have one of those, you can't tear it. You'll just have to cut around that part. And it's like every foot or so. I don't know. But, or you could just, yeah, you just cut through it and you can still tear up to it. You can tear up to it and then cut through it. So anyway, that's a little hack I wanted to share with you. And then on my other video I showed how if you have some needle nose pliers, it's really great, because let's say you've got, you know, my hands cramp sometimes. I can't always reach in there. Just use your little needle nose pliers and it makes life so easy and enjoyable. There you go. Beautiful little bookmark. Probably should have put this bigger one on the little. But see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Perfectionist disease. I really guard against it. I catch myself constantly. It's like, oh, this would be better. No, 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 no. Just tear it and stick it. Glue it on there. Just cut that up and get on with it. Otherwise, you're going to be here all day. Uh-oh, my little eyelet just popped out. That's a problem. I have a solution for this because I tore this bookmark. This is so fragile right here. That's ruined now. But I'm actually glad that happened. I'll be right back. I'm going to show you something you can do about that. Okay, I got these at Hobby Lobby, and they're Avery reinforcement labels. And you can get the silver, this is, I don't even know what that is right there. I'm not even going to try. Gold and copper. Okay. It's almost like a purpley brown. It's really pretty. I have not seen these anywhere, but I haven't looked for them though. So I found these one day, and they are not in the scrapbooking section. They were in a little, they had a little cubicle in the middle of the aisles with some Sharpies and like office supplies type stuff. And that's where I found these. So if you look for these in the scrapbooking section, you're going to be unhappy they're not there. So keep that in mind. But I tore this bookmark and I really weakened the strength of the edge there. So I'm just going to go with gold. I usually pick gold or copper with everything I do. And then you just pop that baby on there. Boop. Fixed. I'm doing both sides because this is really weak. That is part of the problem with tearing your bookmark, because you are going to face that weakening that paper. But I'm glad it happened, because I meant to pull those out and show you and I forgot when I was getting everything together to do this video. The universe needed you to know that trick. How's that? Okay. Okay, so there they are. Aren't they just delicious? Oh, I love these so much, and they are just so fun. And you know, I really love Cat Hand. She's the queen of using scraps, and I have so many little scraps from doing this and tearing up my books that you can just go on and on and on forever making these, because the scraps you create from your paper packs just give you more and more material. So it's really wonderful. And I'm really glad I got to spend this time with you today. And I hope you make some of these, because you sell your junk journals and you put one of these in each of your junk journal, and this is just a little treasure that people can take out and they can put in the book they're reading, and it is just a little beautiful little work of art. So I love making these videos, and I'm getting better, and I'm so grateful that you guys are sticking with me and subscribing. So I would love if you would like and subscribe this video and watch the stuff I've got coming up, because I plan to do all kinds of good stuff. So I will see you soon. Have a great day. Thanks.